I finally got a chance to stop by what I will call our local magic store. The cast a spell kind, not the card tricks pull a rabbit out of a hat kind. I asked them what their description of the store was because Google limits you to their categories for search purposes and had them listed as metaphysical supplies store, which is technically accurate, but sounds more like a description of a party city of the occult. And another pigeonhole called them a bookstore, but they don't carry many books. They prefer to actually have a conversation with those who may be seeking knowledge of things they would not teach you in college. Anyway, when they first opened, they were called Zombie Apothecary and Conjure Company, but it sadly seemed to still carry some of that leftover 1980s stigma of the occult. But they are located in a pretty sleepy Phoenix neighborhood, so they changed it to Zombi World Market, and the local alternative newspaper voted them the best voodoo shop, which is also kind of accurate. As a side note for accuracy, voodoo is the Americanized version of the word, which has a couple different but more accurate pronunciations. But as I am an ugly American, we'll just go with voodoo. So yes, they specialize in voodoo, but also carry supplies for Santeria and other magical practices as well. I still tend to say occult store, but in my opinion, they are the only real supplier in town. All the others are just new age bookstores selling crystals and sage, you know, for the yoga pants and Starbucks triple latte witches of Instagram, where you can get your cards read by a sci-fi channel psychic. Because Zombie brings the voodoo, not the woo-woo. You know what I'm saying? But I told you, when I get the Church of Cthulhu up and running, I'm going to have multiple altars throughout the place. So I will be going back and clearing out this store. And I had to hold back while I was there because I'm waiting until I finalize the new place and make sure this one goes through. But I did pick up a magnifying glass with a horn handle. It's pretty solid, but I think it's from a calf as opposed to a black goat, unfortunately. But we'll get some of the goat stuff later in the future. I don't know why I got a magnifying glass, it just spoke to me. But I will eventually find the perfect place for it among the altars or curio cabinets of the church. And I also picked up Joe Lee's La Grande Circus and Sideshow Tarot deck. Now Lovecraft only mentioned a carnival once or twice in passing. It was never an actual setting in any of his works, but I'm going to have to theme one of the accessory buildings with circus freaks and evil clowns. Of all the things they put in the Halloween haunts, clowns are people's number one fear, so it's eventually going to happen, but only after all the more important stuff like Cthulhu statues and shub altars, etc. So I had a wonderful conversation with Genevieve, the store owner, and she recommended a few books because I was looking for some more backstory on the voodoo gods themselves as opposed to the religious practice. Because one of the vague online descriptions of the voodoo creator gods sounded a bit like Yog-Sothoth, so I wanted to learn a little bit more. But if you live in Phoenix, or have the accursed luck to be visiting Helltown, you should definitely drop in and check out Zombie World Market. Cthulhu Fatagan.